Hi, welcome to part 4 of my review featuring Shinobigami, the modern ninja battle RPG. If you haven't seen the other parts of my review, please check out the playlist in the description below. In this part, which is going to be the final part of the review, we are going to look through the different ideas for scenarios, the setting, the bestiary, and my final thoughts on this role-playing game. First, let's start talking about the climax phase. You need something to wrap up each scenario. So this phase is the final battle that concludes the scenario. It represents that moment, a single master scene in which all of the players participate. The rules are the same as a combat scene, with a few differences. The game master determines the conditions that must be met for the climax phase to occur in the scenario. Unlike a combat scene in the main phase, the loss of a single life point is not enough to force a character to drop out during this climax phase. Instead, a character is only dropped from the battle when all life points are lost. Escape checks are not allowed during the climax phase, unless the game master allows it for some reason. However, there are situations where a character may, depending on what happened during the session, simply cease to have their heart in the fight or have any interest in continuing. In such a situation, the game master may allow the character to drop out of combat, forfeiting their claim to the prize. We will talk more about that and scenarios, that is how to build them, later on in this part of the review. When it comes to ending conditions, the game master may set the conditions for the end of the climax phase as they deem appropriate. For example, the game master may decide to end the climax phase after a number of rounds equal to the number of participants have passed, or they could decide to make it longer or shorter. Or perhaps this is also tied to the fate of a particular non-player character, perhaps to the prize itself, and maybe multiple player characters can end up winning the scenario. It all depends on the story. Now, when it comes to flashbacks, each character may take advantage of a flashback during the climax phase, just once, to get either a skill check bonus or a damage bonus. Now, when it comes to death, a character drops out of combat when their life points are reduced to 0, commonly falling unconscious or retreating into the shadows. However, the player has the option for their character to die instead. If a player chooses for their character to die, they may produce one of two effects. Maybe they choose the attack effect. You may choose a single attack ninpo and any combination of support ninpo, using each once. The cost for all ninpo drops to 0 and all skills become available even if their category was damaged or logged. They could also use the effect of confession by sharing any information in their possession, including secrets, with a single player character. Or non-player character, of course, it all depends. However, further details on death. When a non-player character's life points are reduced to 0 by the effect of a ninpo or Augie, the player who inflicted the damage may choose for that non-player character to die. A non-player character that dies does not have the option to perform an attack or confession. I think that this is more flexible than it may appear at first. This is obviously tailored in a standard way, so that you have those anime or manga style of arcs or campaigns where the protagonists keep on surviving despite all of their wounds, all of their hardships. But if you want a more gritty anime or manga style like Basilisk, where the characters are dying constantly, I think you could also kill the characters at the end of the scenario during the climax phase, and you would only need to come up with a reason as to who is going to continue their fight. Maybe an apprentice, a family member, a friend, perhaps even a mentor, and you could keep on playing the game, perhaps with the same character, just changing the appropriate details so that it feels like it's another player character, but it's actually the same mechanically speaking. That way you won't need to create a character for each session, for each scenario. In this way, you could also advance in ranks with the other surviving player characters, and you wouldn't feel as if your character is being left behind. Story-wise, it's a different character. It is the brother of your former player character, or the sister, or the boyfriend, girlfriend, cousin, etc. that is trying to continue the mission or the objective of the deceased player character, but mechanically they are the same. And that's just my recommendation, my tips on how to handle a more gritty campaign. Now let's talk a bit more about Augie, because depending on what happens throughout the course of the scenario, the use of Augie may be modified according to the characters that have seen the Augie and that know the way that the Augie works. Players may use their Augie anytime they meet the timing requirements specified in the Augie type's description. Each Augie may be used during a drama scene only once per cycle, and during a combat scene only once per round. If the details of a character's Augie have not yet been revealed to anyone, that player must simply declare the name of the Augie and its effects to invoke the Augie. If you don't remember what Augie are, they are incredibly powerful, exceptional fighting techniques of the ninja. And once a character has seen this technique, it doesn't have the same effect on that character. This is a typical anime trope, like for example in Saint Seiya, where the combat techniques do not work if used more than once against the same character. So once an Augie is invoked, all characters present in the scene become aware of the Augie's details. Those characters may check off the Augie box next to the name of the character that invoked their Augie. Augie details are treated as information. In other words, if a character that has an emo bond towards your character learns someone's Augie details, you would automatically learn it as well. However, a character's Augie details may not be learned via an information check during a drama scene. Now, concerning Augie break, if other characters in a scene know the details of an Augie, then they may attempt an Augie break after the player declares the Augie's name and effect to activate it. An Augie break is a skill check that can completely nullify the effect of an Augie. In order to perform an Augie break, your character must be present in the same scene as the character trying to use their Augie, and must know the details of the Augie you are trying to break. An Augie break is performed by attempting a skill check using the target Augie's assigned skill. If the skill check is successful, the Augie is broken and has no effect on any character, but it is still considered used. And this is so cool and so thematic. It's like those Fist of the North Star fights where the main character, Kenshiro, has already seen through a technique, and that technique does not work on him anymore, or it only works on him partially, in a reduced or lessened way. Now, when it comes to the ending, each character gets an epilogue at the conclusion of the Climax Phase, before the scenario ends. For each epilogue, the Game Master should reflect on the outcome of the session and come up with a fitting ending. The Game Master should then give a short description of the outcome of the character's story, or have one final cycle to give each character a final scene. Once the curtain falls on the final scene, characters have a chance to gain merits. Everyone should review the actions of each character and see if they meet any of the conditions for receiving merits. For each condition that is met, the character receives the amount of merit shown in the merit chart. And you know, merit allows you to go up in rank in your levels of power, to obtain more abilities, or to become simply a more resourceful, overall more powerful ninja. Some merit conditions are abstract ideals. If it is unclear if an abstract condition has been met, the players should discuss and come to a consensus. If the group cannot come to an agreement, the Game Master has the final word. So when it comes to merit rewards, maybe you managed to accomplish a clan goal. Maybe you were the last ninja standing in the fight in the climactic battle. Maybe you were really good as a role player. You evoked so many things and brought out so many emotions of your character. There are many different ways in which you can obtain merit rewards. It's not just about the fight. It's about completing the mission, it's about telling a good story, etc. Now, when it comes to respec, when a session is complete, each character completely restores their life points, resets all information, and loses any prizes and remaining ninja gear. At the start of the next session, if the player chooses to use the same character again, they will start at full health with no information or prizes and begin the game with 2 pieces of ninja gear as usual. Between sessions, players are free to change their character's skills, Nimpo and Augie, within the limits of their clan rank of course, and may gain or abandon backgrounds. A character may gain one flaw and or purchase one virtue in between each session. If a character chooses to abandon a virtue that they have gained, they gain merit equal to the merit cost of the virtue or virtues abandoned. If a character made progress towards overcoming a flaw during the session, the game master may decide whether or not to allow the character to discard the flaw. The character is not required to repay the merit gained for taking the flaw. Characters may improve their rank within their clan, moving up to the next rank in the hierarchy. Increases in rank are permanent, and each increase brings with it additional skills, ninpo, or even Augie. Additionally, ninja of Jonin rank or higher gain access to the exclusive and powerful ninpo listed at the end of the ninpo section of the core rulebook. A character may only gain rank once after any given session, and must complete another session before they can gain another rank. Now let's talk about creating scenarios. The game master must prepare a scenario for each game of Shinobigami. A scenario is usually very simple, consisting of the story, setting, non-player character data, and player character handouts for the sessions that the players will be participating in. There are several different types of possible scenarios for Shinobigami. You have Versus as a type. It is basically a scenario where players face off in two or more opposing groups of ninja. To create a versus scenario, the game master must create two opposing factions. For example, perhaps one faction needs to protect a specific non-player character, and the other faction is trying to assassinate that non-player character. And of course, because of the secret mechanic, some ninja could be keeping secrets from their allies or their friends, and perhaps during the climax phase, some ninja are going to switch sides. It is recommended that game masters new to Shinobigami start with this versus type of scenario. You also have cooperative scenarios. Players team up to fight a powerful enemy. To create a cooperative scenario, the game master must first create an enemy boss powerful enough to take on the players during the climax phase. So this would be the more conventional or more traditional way of playing Shinobigami when compared to other role-playing games. It makes for an interesting change of pace. However, I think a lot of players are going to miss the backstabbing and secret mechanic of Shinobigami in its standard form. Then we have Battle Royale. In Battle Royale, the players are locked in a free-for-all battle that only ends when a single ninja is left standing. And of course, you can come up with your own custom scenarios that combine some elements from the other types of scenarios. You also have information on the background situation. When you're creating a scenario, the game master needs to come up with the outline of the events that will draw the player characters together. These events will form the backbone of the major conflict in the scenario. When creating your situation, consider the time and location that will form the setting for the scenario. When it comes to a number of players, this role-playing game can be played with 2 to 6 player characters. However, the sweet spot is 4 player characters. You have enough players to create all sorts of webs, betrayals, alliances based on secrets, but everyone gets a chance to shine. You're not going to have too much downtime as the scenes are carried out, because sometimes, for example, in a 6-player sort of situation, some players may feel a bit left out when they are not starring in a particular scene. Now, when it comes to missions, every character in every session of Shinobigami has a goal to accomplish, whether by their own choice or because a clan leader has ordered them to accomplish a mission. Missions in Versus and Battle Royale scenarios should instigate conflict between players. Orders to defeat the opposing team or to take control of a prize are simple and effective. So perhaps one mission could be defeat a traitor or a boss, find a non-player character, protect someone, kill someone, interfere with someone else's mission, etc. Now, concerning secrets, secrets are the pieces of information that each character is trying to hide, so they may never willingly tell anyone their own secret. Some secrets include a true mission. In those cases, completing the character's public mission is meaningless. Only completing their true mission counts for earning merit. It is also possible to include effects in secrets that change a character's mission, and some secrets could be that you have the prize that everyone is looking for, Or perhaps you are the long-lost relative of another player character. Maybe you are in love or you hate a specific player character. Maybe you are a traitor or you have a very special secret identity. It's important to handle lies and truths effectively in scenarios. The world of shadows is a dark place, and the air is thick with lies. Ninja are constantly looking for ways to deceive each other in order to come out on top. Because of this, it is acceptable to give missions that are outright lies. However, the game master must make sure that secrets always tell the truth. If you are trying to lead the players into a certain direction without giving away the truth, then you must mention some hints, as for example, it seems, you believe, so that the player characters become suspicious of something else. Now, concerning prizes, prizes are unique to each scenario. Secret Nimpo scrolls, top secret information, sacred relics, someone that you need to help or rescue. All of these could be prizes. In general, each scenario should have one prize, though it is possible to have two or even more. During the session, if a character gains control of a prize even once, they are awarded one merit at the conclusion of the game. However, taking control of the same prize multiple times will only ever give you one merit. There's also information on introduction scenes. Introduction scenes exist to explain why and how each character is related to the scenario and how much they know about what is happening. Creating an introduction scene that reflects a character's secret, mission, clan, secret identity, long-term goals, etc., or which utilizes techniques such as foreshadowing or flashbacks, can add greatly to the feeling of immersion as long as they do not spoil any secrets. That is, major secrets. And when it comes to master scenes, they are used to break up the main phase. If the game master wants to introduce a scene and have complete control over it, it should be a master scene. If there is some important piece of information that the players need, which is not part of someone's secret, it can be a good idea to disseminate that information via the master scene. And when creating a scenario, it's a good idea to think about the number of cycles that will happen before you reach the climax scene, and therefore a satisfying conclusion for the scenario. Next, we have information on the Shadow War. This is the setting of Shinobigami. At first glance, the world of Shinobigami is an ordinary one, calm and uneventful. A dark shadow, however, looms silently over this peaceful facade. That shadow wafts through the blackness of night, surging stronger as the moon travels its well-worn path, until it is dispelled with the breaking of dawn. They are sometimes called Nightwalkers. So just underneath the surface of the world we inhabit lies the realm of shadows, known as the Shadow War, or the World of Shadows. It is a world of violence and conspiracy, a world of sorcery and illusion. In the Shadow War, innumerable battles unfold daily across the land. Thousand-year-old struggles between conquerors and the conquered, disgraceful political squabbles over national interests, mad scrambles that shake up our everyday lives, and never-ending personal quests to fulfill an innermost desire. All of these conflicts rage, constantly unknown, cleverly hidden just under our noses. And those who struggle through this carnage are, of course, the ninja. Ninja is the generic term that covers any and all of those that live and fight in the Shadow War. During the Japanese Middle Ages, a ninja was someone used by the daimyo or other lords for assassinations or intelligence gathering. In reality, ninja, wielders of supernatural abilities, existed long before that. With a basis in Taoist spiritual belief, the ninja developed their abilities, ninpo, by utilizing advanced weaponry, science, and magic. Through the use of this powerful ninpo, ninja have long exercised great influence over the world. Where there is light, there must be shadow. And as the light of modernity shines ever brighter, the shadow gets deeper, darker. The Shadow War continues, as it always has, just below the surface of normal society. The Shinobigami are legends even among ninja. They are said to have been the progenitors of magic and martial arts. According to both the Hirasaka Agency and bloodline of Oni, the Shinto god Susanoo of the Kojiki, the oldest historical record of ancient Japan, was himself a Shinobigami. Though many doubt the veracity of these claims, The fact remains that 6 sacred relics were left behind by the Shinobigami, and though they were accounted for only recently, according to the bloodline of Oni, they have been stolen away. The bloodline of Oni had attempted a grand ritual using the relics in an attempt to learn the secret art of Tenjo Tenge, everything in heaven and earth, the mysterious power handed down from the Shinobigami themselves with the ability to grant any wish. At the time of the ritual, the relics disappeared without a trace. Since that fateful day, a great number of ninja have sought the missing relics in an effort to discover the secret of Tenjo Tenge. There are 6 clans. Their strength and size can fluctuate wildly, but at the moment, the balance of power has stabilized. The current groups in power are called the 6 clans. They are the Hasuba Ninja Army, the Kurama Shin Clan, the Hirasaka Agency, the Otogi Private Academy, the Bloodline of Oni, and the Lost Ones. We have details on the Hasuba Ninja Army. This ninja army is the clan that analyzes all the myriad abilities of the ninja, replicates them, and then adopts them into their own arsenal. Originally descendants of the Saika Ikki, the Sengoku-era warrior monks, famous for their skilled arquebus troops, as well as their smithies and foundries. The contemporary public face of the clan is a collection of over 30 subsidiary companies within the Yata group. The purpose of the clan is to analyze and understand all of the esoteric abilities of the ninja, like Ninpo and Augie, to break them down scientifically, then to replicate these abilities via tools and equipment usable by anyone. Then we have details on the Kurama Shin clan. The Kurama Shin clan focuses on hunting the supernatural and making sure that the powerful secrets and techniques of the Shadow War stay hidden and do not escape into a superficial world. As the Heian period waned, a non-Myoji or Taoist sorcerer by the name of Kichi Hogan, together with 8 warrior monks, founded this clan upon the Kurama mountain of Kyoto. Over the course of time, the Kurama Shin clan has taken it upon itself to make sure that the Shadow War stays hidden in the shadows. 2 of their most important duties are sealing away dangerous Ninpo before they can fall into the wrong hands, and the destruction of supernatural elements that would otherwise pose a threat to innocents. Then we have the Lost Ones. They are a group of talented ninja who hold no allegiance to any of the major orders. The Lost Ones clan simply refers to any ninja who, for a variety of reasons, does not belong to any of the other factions. Due to the fact that some ninja in this grouping straddle the line between the worlds above and the world of shadows, often by either taking jobs as mercenaries or belonging to criminal groups, this clan is often looked down upon by the rest of the factions. In the strictest sense, the Lost Ones are not really a clan and thus have no unified purpose. However, there seems to be a large number of ninja within the group who have a hatred for the Hasuba Ninja Army. Then we have information on the Hirasaka Agency. This is a secret intelligence agency that provides the government of Japan with information regarding the movement of ninja and magical forces. Long before the advent of Buddhism and other younger belief systems, the animist Shinto beliefs of ancient Japan formed the basis of the Hirasaka Shinto sect. A large number of agency members are female ninja, known as Miko, that infiltrate businesses and organizations. The agency then analyzes the information gathered by the Miko and utilizes it to lead the other factions in directions that benefit the agency. Then we have the Otogi Private Academy. This academy protects and provides proper guidance for youth that show supernatural potential. With the Meiji Restoration, a large number of ninja hid themselves in our peaceful society, completely forgetting about the Shadow War. What they didn't realize, however, is that their power could not be so easily forgotten and is passed down through their very blood. On the surface, the academy is a school that encompasses both primary and secondary education. The sponsors of the academy are primarily foreign conglomerates. Due to their influence, a number of international exchange students and trainees of foreign intelligence agencies also attend the school. Next, we have the Bloodline of Oni, a group of preternatural beings with plans to subvert the ruling order. These Oni-blooded are the descendants of the beings once called Oni and Tsuchigumo in the days of ancient Japan. Various factions have long oppressed the bloodline of Oni, and this perpetual persecution has left the clan with a deep-seated distrust of government power. The unifying desire of this clan is to create a world in which they can live peacefully. To that end, they pursue the secret Shinobigami rite of Tenjo Tenge. There's also information on other factions such as the gangland, law enforcement, political dynasties, foreign nations, and the outsiders. The outsiders are quite interesting. They are the inhabitants of an otherworldly realm. They come into our world through gates, special points in space and time that bridge the wall between our world and theirs. Most outsiders are skilled in the mystical arts and come to our world for the sole purpose of testing their skills. The legendary Shinobigami and the ancestors of the bloodline of Oni are said to have been outsiders. There's also information on Dejima. A few years ago, the bloodline of Oni, in an attempt to obtain the ultimate ninja art Tenjo Tenge, conducted a magical ritual intended to revive the Shinobigami inside a large urban area. The ritual was designed to sacrifice the thousands of city residents as well as the 6 holy relics. The Oni sorcerers managed to open a gate and began to assert the power of the Shinobigami when, at the last minute, a group of ninja from every clan, assembled by the Kurama Shin clan, put an end to the ritual. The incomplete ritual resulted in uncontrolled magical energy that was sent in every direction, dispersing that power throughout the city. Untold numbers of outsiders emerged into the city, and its former inhabitants were transformed into horrors beyond human imagining. Since then, that city has been physically and magically sealed, inaccessible from the outside world. All records of its existence have been erased, and any attempts to locate it have failed. Only a few ninja know that that city is called Dejima, and it is awash with outsiders. Those who know of Dejima have another name for it now, Shijima or Death Island. After that, we have a section containing information and stats on many different enemies. You have information on the enemy data, life points, skills, ninpo, ninja gear, how to use them of course in many different scenarios. You have a bit of background information for the different entries. So there are many ninja type enemies such as ninja dogs, ninja swarms, ninja ravens, ninja shark, I am not joking. They are savage great white sharks altered via brain surgery to obey their masters. There are also agents, soldiers, kunoichi or female ninja, genin leaders, zombie ninja. Yes, ninja called back into service from beyond even death. Though their memories are gone, their shinobi skills remain, years of rigorous training having imprinted them into their very bones. You also have the Kusa. Hiding their ninja lineage, Kusa, which means grass, are ninja of the lowest rank, who are embedded throughout society. Their job is to collect information from schools, corporations, and many other communities. There are also mad scientists, swordsmen, sorcerers, different types of ninja such as school ninja, runaway ninja. You also have things such as the metal god, ninja that have mechanized their entire body, now equipped with advanced weaponry such as optical camouflage and high-frequency vibroblades. Their hearts are also cold as steel, and they will stop at nothing to accomplish their mission. There are also necrologists. These are Joma that dabble in the science of death. They have perfected control over 2 crests, the Death Crest and the Life Crest. The Death Crest, when given to a living being, transforms them into a puppet-like creature called a mannequin. The Life Crest, when placed upon a corpse, turns the body into a replica, a mockery of life that retains the memories the creature had when it was alive. And these are just some of the many different non-player characters, monsters, beasts, otherworldly creatures that you will find in this core rulebook. At the end of the book, you have a translator's advice section. This contains a lot of tips, advice, and just some general background information concerning the process of character creation, how to play the game, the structure of the scenarios, how to run a session, how to run your first session in fact, many tips and advice on how to handle combat and scenarios. So what do I think of Shinobigami, the modern ninja battle role-playing game? I think this role-playing game is one of a kind. There isn't anything like it. This is probably the best role-playing game to represent ninja as portrayed in anime, manga, some very over-the-top movies, comic books, etc. I really like how it combines storytelling with more tactical or strategic role-playing. This is one of the few role-playing games that handle competitive situations quite fun, effectively, efficiently, without being disruptive. And because in its standard form, the ninja usually do not die, you never feel like you got screwed over because your ninja got killed in a scenario. You can always try better in the next scenario. And like I said, you could also handle it like if your ninja ends up dead, you could still continue the campaign with the apprentice, the mentor, the relative, or a friend of that deceased ninja, and you would still advance your ninja. It's basically the same character, you just changed some things related to the story, some aesthetic elements as well. That's my personal tip. You can handle it however you like. I also really like the conflict resolution, the way that the scenarios are structured. They feel like a theatrical play or a movie or an original video animation, an episode of your favorite series. And I really like the setting. There is a lot more when it comes to the information concerning the major conflicts, the non-player characters, the leaders of each clan, how the clans interact with one another. And the rulebook is quite complete. It feels like they took a bestiary, a game master's guide, and a player's handbook, and they put them all together into this single tome. And I definitely recommend that you consider getting it as a physical book. So my highest recommendation for Shinobigami, the modern ninja battle role-playing game. Thanks for watching my review, and thank you so much to those of you that have been supporting the channel by sending Drive-Thru RPG gift certificates. If anyone else wants to further support the channel, the information on how to do that will be in the description below. Once again, thank you, and see you later.